It's always the question people have.
It's an art.
It is an art. It's mostly 100% me actually remembering what the words are.
Helping you out.
Hello, campers. Welcome to the Campfire Gaming Podcast. I'll be your host tonight, Chris, and along with me are going to be Rich and Matt. Tonight we have a whole bunch of topics to talk about, predominantly Xbox and PC related, along with some surprising news from, well, I guess for us yesterday, but for you guys, Monday. But first and foremost, let's make sure we pimp our links. First things, we do have the Campfire Gaming website, campfiregamingpodcast.com, our Discord channel where we do have a lot of different chats, a lot of people talking about Halo right now, lots of in-depth conversations. Our Twitter I'll figure it out, at Camp Game Pod. I'm tweeting on the thing and I can't even say it. Our Instagram at Campfire Gaming Podcast, our YouTube channel, which you might be looking at this right now. Just make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It's probably sitting over here somewhere if I remember correctly. On our Twitch channel, which we're working on getting up to speed a little bit more. Some technical difficulties are getting in the way right now. And if you are listening to us on a audio format, please make sure you subscribe and, rate and review us because we like to know those kind of things. See what people think. So, gentlemen, I feel like let's just jump right into it with the Xbox anniversary celebration.
Let's get wet.
20 golden years. Oh, and
should we give like a proper happy birthday to Xbox? Like sing happy birthday. Well, we get demonetized if we sing happy birthday.
We have to be monetized before we're demonetized. But
all right, that's true. So yeah, so screw it.
Ready?
Happy 20th. One more year and you can drink Xbox.
It depends where you are. Should we? You guys want to sing? I'm game.
Hell
Let's
yeah!
do that. All right.
Yeah, we gotta wish Xbox and our favorite video game a proper happy birthday.
All right.
So three.
Oh
no.
Okay.
We gotta count it off. All right.
All right. Just leading it.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Xbox and Halo. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Okay, that is not synchronized at all. I really can't wait to play this back later. It's going to be perfect.
Beautiful.
We got to do it our own way, all right?
Absolutely. So yeah, as we mentioned, 20 years of existence for the Xbox console, along with, of course, one of our favorite games, Halo. We did get to see a really kind of an interesting presentation, kind of recapping the last 20 years of Xbox, along with a couple of surprise announcements and some old faces returning that we haven't seen in forever. I honestly had forgotten about Robbie Bach.
Yeah, I did too.
I really liked, obviously it was all digitally done and stuff, but the stage that they put him on was really cool.
Yeah.
He's out here talking about launching the OG Xbox back in, 2001. And his stage it almost looks like the original UI from, or dashboard UI from the OG Xbox. And it was so cool. I loved it. It was awesome.
I'm getting boomer feelings just thinking about that OG Xbox dashboard.
Oh yeah.
Or I like the voices you could hear if you listen closely or whatever played,
Yep. I like how they showed the old press conference with The Rock.
Yeah.
Bill Gates hanging out on stage. I was like, wow, that's a throwback.
Right, The Rock with hair. It's been so long since I've thought about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we did get an appearance from the current Rock, who was plugging Red Notice, I think is his Netflix movie.
Yeah.
But he also has, I think it's xboxvault.com. They're doing some type of giveaway of limited merchandise and tie-ins and that kind of stuff. But I would recommend checking it out if you want to try to get your hands on some Xbox merch. I believe it's still up as of right now. It probably should still be up by the time this podcast goes live. If you're listening to this in the future, well, you should have found us sooner. So that's kind of on you. We also got an announcement on kind of a cool documentary that I'm really excited to see. The Power On, right? Was what it was called.
Yep.
A 6-part documentary showcasing the origins of the Xbox, which just sounds kind of cool, which feels weird, but still.
Let's go. We're gonna get some cool, I think, some really awesome behind the scenes looks on the Xbox. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it actually pumped me up more than another series that we'll talk about in a second. But like, I love that. I love a lot of that nerdy stuff, and I got so excited. It's like, this is gonna be so cool listening to these old, Microsoft heads and leads, and like they kind of dipped into it a little bit in I guess you could say the trailer they kind of showed off in there, where like, the DirectX team was throwing this together and they were just barging into meetings to try to push this thing, and and here we are today. It worked out, and yeah, so it'll be really exciting to watch that and kind of get a lot more of the history that I'm sure a lot of us don't know. Some of the details on how it was created and the origins and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I was 11 when the Xbox came out. I am now in my 30s. Just gonna put that, that's just how it is.
I was gonna ask you, and maybe now's as good a time as ever. Like, when I first played an Xbox, I'm dating myself. It was like Thanksgiving weekend. I think it was like Black Friday, so it was a couple weeks after launch, right? And I had trouble with the twin sticks. Right.
Really?
It's hard to think there were days of that, because I remember running around. I think it was Sidewinder, and my buddy's just rocketing me, because he had a week or 2 weeks there to get familiarized with the dual sticks there, and he was able to run around and murder me, and just it was a good time nonetheless. But that was kind of my first experience with the OG Xbox. I was just getting slaughtered in Halo from somebody who had mastered the twin sticks. So curious what your guys' first time with the Xbox was.
My first impression with the Xbox, oh my god, this is kind of a funny story, I think. So originally when the Xbox came out, it was obviously in November. We had gotten a Christmas check from one of my grandmothers at the time, and she sent us a big check that my dad was like, with this check, we are going to go buy a video game console. And I'm like, hell yeah, we're getting a GameCube. Let's go. So I was so excited to get this GameCube because I wanted to play Pikmin. I wanted to play Mario Sunshine. And it's just, I was hype. But then my dad decided to pull a fast one. And then he ended up getting an Xbox. And then I threw a shit fit because I was, 11 years old at the time. So I threw a hissy fit because I wanted to play Pikmin and I didn't want no stupid Xbox. Little did I know, I would then, a couple months down the road be introduced to like one of my favorite games and series of all time. And we can get into that story too, because that's fun too. I love talking about.
Did your dad bring home Halo?
He did not. No, we didn't. We didn't buy it off the bat. And I'll get in. I think once we talk about the Halo stuff, we should definitely go into some of this, like, thinking about the past or whatever.
Yeah.
But I threw a big hissy fit. We ended up with Munch's Odyssey as our first game. And then I think we had
Bloodwake.
No,
that came later.
I think it literally just was.
I thought it was
Munch's Odyssey. I think it was just. Yeah, I think that's all we had at the very start was Munch's Odyssey.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
No, I traded in my Nintendo 64 to get my hands on an Xbox because I'd been the Bungie nerd for already 7 years at that point. So it was kind of a gimme to be like, oh yeah, nope, take this. I want that, please. Gimme. But
that's funny because it took me 8 months to convince my parents to let me buy. It wasn't until July, like 30th of 2022 or 2002. That I finally convinced my parents that to let me buy the console. So
I was 16 and had a job And
I had the money and stuff.
Yeah.
My parents just hated having. They were okay with handhelds, so I had like a Game Boy and a Game Gear and all that stuff. But no, those hooking something up to the TV, just my parents weren't a fan. So it took me 8 months of just like begging and pleading, like, let me get it, So finally got it, and here we are today.
Right. Well, some other things that got announced. We had the last batch of backwards compatible games, 70 OG and 360 Xbox games, which has some pretty decent titles in there, including the Complete Fear series. I'm really excited that I can keep playing Max Payne. I almost said Mad Max. I had to hold it back. And as well as the Skate franchise, which unfortunately they are still turning off the multiplayer servers over at EA, but that is what it is. And a whole bunch of other...
Damn EA.
Right. A whole bunch of other random titles, including a handful of Star Wars ones, which makes this OG nerd excited.
I had Starfighter.
I love Starfighter
I had Star Wars
so much.
I played a crap ton of Star Wars Starfighter on my Xbox. That was awesome.
Some other ones here, at least ones that I'm kind of picking out, looking at the list here. Advent Rising.
I remember that, yeah.
Oddworld Munch's Odyssey.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive, yeah.
I did have that. We did have Dead or Alive.
Time Splitters 2, so there's some good games out there,
And of course, that Max Payne series. Ooh, that is just so good.
Don't forget 50 Cent, Blood on the Sand.
Yeah,
I heard that was actually a decent game, which is a little crazy.
That's what I heard too, but I never played it. Yeah,
I never played it either.
No,
I just like watching the memes where Snoop Dogg is reacting to him dying in 50 Cent. Spoilers, by the way. 50 Cent.
Just ruined. See, why would I play the game now? You just ruined.
No reason to. Yeah.
A little sad that the program is coming to an end. There's still a handful of other titles I would have loved to have seen come over, but still they've delivered a ton of titles onto current generation and the previous generation Xboxes. We did get something that I believe really disappointed Matt because he was immediately messaging about it. The first teaser trailer for the Halo TV series on Paramount Plus. Matt, do you want to
honestly
talk
the
about
only reason I'm mad is it literally was just a teaser. Like give me a trailer. I hate these little 5-second teasers for things anymore. It's just like I'm over that, right? I'm done all these new marketing gimmicks that they do. Just give me it's at least a 30-second trailer. I don't know, it wasn't 30 seconds, it might have been, but
it may have been, but whatever. You basically see the back of Pablo Schreiber's head.
Yeah,
for the whole thing as Master Chief.
It's got some scars.
Yeah,
it's like 30 seconds, but it's really only about half of that there's any sort of anything. But again, it's just this guy putting on the Master Chief or Spartan helmet. So, so I was all excited because I heard the rumor that this was going to happen. So I'm like, yeah, they're going to drop a trailer. This is going to be cool. And it's so I set myself up to fail there. So that's only my fault.
Considering it's a TV show, I'm going to guess they aren't that far along in the special effects department, so I'm going to guess any actual footage they would have would look kind of rough.
I kind of hope they use like really practical effects for like the grunts and the jackals and all that.
That would
like,
be super cool.
Man, that'd be so sick if we got some like puppeteers kind of doing some action with like like the elites and
Jim
stuff
Henson's
like that.
Muppet Studio in there.
Hell yeah, that'd be cool as hell. Like,
thinking
CG,
Lord of the Rings,
CG
get Weta in there.
Yeah, like CG CG is okay, but like, God, it looks so lame,
right?
Compared to like puppetry. It just looks cool.
Yeah, time will tell. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll learn more before too long. Hopefully,
honestly,
depends on when it streams next year, right?
Yeah,
we probably will get
said
something
2022.
at Comic-Con.
Yep, we didn't get anything.
We're gonna have
other than
something.
That.
Gonna have something competing for the next season of The Mandalorian or something like that. You know what? And I will say, so far, the most disappointing part of that trailer is that it's coming to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it does kind of suck. It's a streaming service.
Yeah, I was not happy about that. I was like, man, like Paramount Plus, come on. I don't want to subscribe to Paramount Plus.
But you can watch
maybe
all
they'll give
the Star
free
Treks.
This is going to be one of those, like, I sign up for a month just to watch the Halo series, and then I dump the subscription until the next season of Halo series.
That's what I'm going to do.
I mean, I'm still holding out that we'll get an Game Pass Ultimate perk that gives us like a free month of it.
That'd be
That
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna say. That or like it would be really cool if they just put it in the Halo Waypoint app or something like that. You know, like they did. I think they did that with what was it, Nightfall?
Yeah, it was.
They did
Nightfall
do that
did
with Nightfall.
Yeah.
Because it was originally like a 5-part series they split up into there. Yeah. So.
Yep.
But I mean, this is something to get people to spend money and get on the service. So I doubt it. But I hope there is like a free month or something. I'm just over all the TV streaming services being split. It's kind of like the argument we have with the different, like Steam and Origins. Like, I just want Steam, make it easy, right?
Yeah, I just want
only Netflix again.
You know what?
Netflix
Fine. Yeah, I have to subscribe to Hulu, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, everything with a plus.
Or a Max.
Yeah.
Last but very certainly, absolutely not the least, we got an announcement that had kind of been rumored a little bit, but it was official, made official.
Yeah, that leaker was pretty good.
Secret.
Yeah. Pretty much all of us were more or less expecting it to happen. But the beta of the Halo multiplayer is out right now.
Live.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Yep.
We've already played it.
Yeah. Oh, all of us, I believe, have played it at this point.
Yep.
One quick thing I want to mention, they do call it specifically a beta because they do expect there to be some bugs because of the amount of players they have playing it. I believe I saw the totals were around 260,000 on Steam alone. Concurrent play it.
In the first 12 hours that it was released yesterday or whatever. Yeah.
Which is
it's insane. Yeah. My favorite thing, kind of jumping back to how it was announced, was good old Pringles.
Yeah. They did kind of leak. They were the first.
You could say they popped the top on that one, didn't they?
Once you pop, you just can't take it back.
So. You can't take it back.
They did remove the countdown eventually, but the cat was out of the bag at that point.
I think we need to make that the title of the episode.
But so once they basically were advertising, was it the Moa Burger Pringles, Halo themed ones, and they put a countdown for I don't know, a day and 12 hours or something on Saturday. And
yeah, Chris, you were saying it's what, it tastes like a teriyaki burger?
Yeah, that's the closest thing I could come up with, like a Polynesian kind of burger taste to it. It's pretty good. I got to give them credit.
I'll have to go find some.
It's so far I have only found Walmarts to be the ones carrying them. So that's what you got to go look for.
Guess I'll make a trip down there. But yeah, no, it was good. I mean, once that started, then people were finding they're bringing Azure servers online. They're doing all, people started digging, and it's okay, yep.
People were data mining it. Leading up to this anniversary thing, over the weekend, we had a ton of information start surfacing. People were whoa, data miners are finding that the Heroes of Reach is being, it looks like it's being slated for the 15th. What's that about? And this little Pringles thing is all weird. And
the store listing for the multiplayer was bumped to the 15th instead of the 8th of December, but the campaign side was still set for December. So it was it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was easy. Kudos to them if they've been hanging on to this one for a long time. If they were we're going to keep this one close to the chest and we're just going to say we're releasing it on the 8th, like everything else. And it wasn't until literally the weekend before that this started coming out. So good job keeping it tight-lipped. Sorry that Pringles ruined it.
And I will say, I mean, it was rough, I heard initially, but I was in the office, so I couldn't touch it. But as soon as I got on at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it played it was really stable. I didn't have any connection issues.
No, it seemed a little slow for me to get into matches, but I imagine that's going to improve as the next month.
Yes, it gets more stuff online.
Yeah, so I played most of the evening last night, and I did run into, I would say, quite a few technical issues. I was trying to play ranked, and I think I probably crashed out of 4 ranked matches, which was really, really disappointing because you can't join back into your matches. And because that feature isn't in, I was just kind of screwed out of those matches, and my poor team was screwed out of having an additional player on their team. So that was kind of a bummer. Yeah. And then, I mean, as far as network and latency and all that, it performed
Yeah.
pretty solid. Like even in big team battle, it was working very, very well. Me and a buddy of mine, we were playing big team battle for a good chunk of the evening, and we were having a really, really good experience playing on some of the new maps too, with some of the different modes.
They're so cool.
Yeah, that core mode is kind of weird. Did you guys play that?
One. No, I did a BTB.
Yeah, it's like, so they get a bunch of like these little fusion cores that get dropped on the map, and you have to collect them and bring them back to your base and like insert them into like a little like station in your base. But at the same time, the enemy team can go to your base and yoink them out of your base and try and bring them back to their base. And so you're trying to like power up a certain number of cores, and we were having a blast with that, because like we're just kind of scrambling all over the map trying to collect these cores, and like we're doing spec ops missions trying to like yoink them out of the enemy team's base, or catch them trying to deliver them back to their base or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun. We were having a good old time with that. I finally got to do some I got some montage footage for myself. Not really. I just got to do one of those cool trailer moments. So I had the grapple hook, and I yoinked onto a ghost, and I flew into it, and I had the grab hammer, and I just fucking like right in front of the ghost. Yeah. I was like, hey, I did the trailer thing.
That's awesome.
I didn't have any epic moments other than winning two out of my 3 games I've played. So
my only epic moment is more related to, and I haven't verified to see where it's at today, but I got an achievement called Splatter, where you run over a guy with a brute chopper, and I was only 1.53% of players had unlocked it so far, and I was like, yeah, super rare. That's awesome. I
got one where let's see if I got one, a Fellow of Infinite Jest. That was a achievement I got, which was kill 3 enemies with the ball in a match made oddball game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I only got 2. I almost had that. Because my one just kind of just quick play match was an oddball, and nobody wanted to hold. I mean, obviously the team wanted to, but nobody on my team wanted to pick it up. So I held it for basically the majority of the game. But I think I got about 2 kills with it. So damn, it was close to it. But yeah, good times.
Yeah, and so season.
I don't hate it. By the way,
there we go. Hey,
initial
good.
thoughts. There was the one bug I ran into was the one game I lost, so it's weird. They need to fix that. I don't lose.
You
games.
losing? Okay.
3-4-3. You need to go fix that. If I'm
Please.
playing.
Also, like, I know you guys are controller players, but wow, what was the person who was coming up with the default keybinds smoking when they came up with those? Like,
are they bad?
They're weird. Your swap weapon is like V. Your V is like your switch weapons. They have that as a default keybind.
I wonder if they must assume your thumb.
Yeah, and it's like, so it's weird too, because like, okay, so I think by default,
I don't know.
your shift key is your sprint.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So by default, I think they have it so that you have to hold to press to sprint, and then they have your left control as your crouch and slide. Now try doing that. Now try sprinting and doing a crouch slide with your pinky.
No.
You literally have to take your finger off the shift key to do that. I had to rebind that to like C or something like that, so that I could be sprinting and then like slide and doing all that. And then like I think like changing the grenades or something like that is like B, which is super weird. Like I said, the default keybinds are goofy.
Interesting.
I don't know what that was all about, but
yeah, I'm a controller scrub. Sorry for the audio people, but I'm showing the Elite controller too.
Ooh,
That's what I'm playing on.
Yeah, mine's sitting in a box right now. I have to go get it.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's super cool, super nice. I'll have to put some pictures up on the Instagram, and then you can share them on Twitter so
There you go.
people can see. Super nice. But yeah, no, I'm one of them dirty controller scrubs. But did either of you guys hop in a Warthog at all and use a turret?
Yeah.
nuh-uh.
Oh, yeah. I had a rocket turret.
So you used the controller. Did you feel like the turret turned slower?
Yeah,
I
it
felt
definitely wasn't that quick at it. Yeah.
because this is a weird thing. I remember complaining in the beta that that gun did nothing, but it felt to me like a normal Warthog gun as far as being able to rotate with the controller. I feel like it's a lot more powerful now, but they slowed down rotation and how fast you can rotate it. So I'm curious to maybe try it with mouse and keyboard to see if you can move faster. But I'm wondering if that was one of those trade-offs. Will make it, stronger, but now it's harder to kind of, especially as you're like, that was the hard thing, is as you're whizzing by people, is kind of tracking with the gun. Because I know there was a couple times I was gunner and somebody was just driving down the trail and I'm trying to track the people, off the sides, and it was hard. I felt like, and I even adjusted the speed at which I was at the
scroll speed,
the scroll speed for in the settings, and it still didn't seem to do much. So I'm curious. I need to play some more to see, but I mean, at least I'm happy. At least the gun does more damage, because man, it sucked in the beta, like just laying into things and nobody's dying. It's like, this is insane. But
well, we'll be able to keep. I have to try it out some more. I was in a rocket turret, so I I think I just associated the slower speed to the fact that it's a rocket, so it just kind of in my head made sense. So part of the multiplayer being out, season 1 started as well. As Matt, I believe Matt or Rich had already said, Heroes of Reach. It is. We've discussed it before on the podcast. It is a little weird that all of the progression is purely tied to doing challenges. Not that I had a whole lot of issues triggering challenges. It seemed like every match I got some type of progression towards it. But it definitely felt, especially now that I've looked at where I unlocked one and got like a background. And obviously if I pay the $10, I could get like I think a helmet for level 1. But it looked like the experience I needed to go from 1 to 2 was massively different. I don't know what your guys' experience is so far.
This challenge system needs to go. Oh, well, sorry. You can supplement the XP gained with the challenge system. I'm fine with that, but you need per game. And at some point they're going to have to change it.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like I hopped on the Halo Reddit today and there's already a couple posts of people like, I did like super amazing. I got all these medals and blah, blah, blah. But since I didn't kill with this one gun or punch somebody or whatever, my experience didn't go anywhere. And not that I'm somebody that needs to be constantly rewarded, but you have that system in there, and basing it off, as somebody who played a lot of Destiny, everything was based on bounties. It sucks. Although their multiplayer, you did get some experience, per game, but it's not fun. It forces you to play certain ways that maybe you don't want to. And if I want to just hop in, blow off steam, and I use, I don't know, whatever, the sidekick all night, I shouldn't be penalized, because, I'm not switching to the needler or, the battle rifle or something like that,
Yeah, I don't like the idea of having to go out of my way to go and complete goofy challenges that I don't want to do. Like, if I have to go kill somebody, like kill 5 people with a heat wave, it's like, man, I don't even like using the heat wave. I don't want it. Like, I don't even care.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, I mean, I guess I don't really care that much about unlocking all the stuff. Yeah. At least not in that regard. Like, I'm not that. It doesn't bother me that much because I'm not going out of my way to go get it, but I can see how that would be really frustrating.
If you spend the money on the battle pass and that's the only way to progress it, then you're being forced to potentially play a way that you don't, maybe don't prefer playing because you got it, you feel the need. I guess the nice thing is they don't expire, so maybe that's their way out. But it's like, but it's even not a fun situation.
Yeah, and even if they rewarded just like a little bit of experience to at least make you feel like, you don't have to go do the goofy challenges if you don't want to. You'll still, just playing the game will reward you with what you want.
It seems weird that a game that has a long history of having medals be attached to it, that the medals are pointless when it comes to your progression in the battle pass. I mean, and I'll be honest, while I did see a stat screen at the end of each match telling me my kill to death, and well, not my ratio, but the actual kills and how many deaths and whatnot, I haven't seen it like an actual combined stats for everything I've done, which feels a little weird to me. I don't know if you guys saw that and maybe I just missed it.
Yeah, this is, I think, something that we kind of talked about when we were reviewing the that technical test that we did a month ago. the UI, like the post game UI, is kind of weird.
Mhm.
And it still needs work, I think.
I noticed in my 2 BTB games, one I had to hit right bumper twice to get over to the scorecard, and then the default columns that were shown were, I think it was rounds won, rounds lost type thing, and I'm like, this is BTB. I want kills, deaths, assists.
Yeah.
Why am I seeing this? So yeah, I mean that's just, they need to finish, I don't know, developing that. I wouldn't say that's a bug. That's probably just more they need to default to that on games that you're not, and I'll be honest, even
Yeah.
in those round games, I'd still rather see my KD,
Right.
But no, it still needs a little work. I will say the UI right now it's still kind of clunky and busy,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel as bad as the technical test.
Right. It's definitely gotten better, but it still, in my opinion, needs a little bit of work.
Some of the
And-
and you're talking about key bindings. Some of the button bindings to go in and equip and do things, like I'm so used to hitting A for certain things, but some of the things to equip items is like X. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think just the especially with the key bindings playing on the keyboard, that list for adjusting those key bindings gets like really, really long because you have all these different contexts that you're, could be having controls for.
Yeah.
So that list gets ridiculously huge, and having to scroll through all that is kind of annoying. It would be nice to categorize that a little bit better. So it'd be like, like an on foot or like a vehicle or something like that, or air vehicle or something, just to kind of shrink that list a little bit. So it's not, if I have to adjust some vehicle settings, it's scroll, 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 scroll. Okay, I got past all the on foot stuff. Scroll, 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 scroll. Okay, now I'm finally to the vehicle stuff. That would be like some feedback that I would give on that one. And yeah, the score screen I think needs a little bit of adjusting to just give me, I don't know, like I want to say better data. Like the first thing you see when you go to the score screen is you can see your kills, deaths, assists. So your KDA on that. But I really like just seeing just the regular, the red and blue scoreboard, being able to tab through those just to see all, like, I want to see it collectively. I want to see everybody's KD or what everybody did for like accuracy and, headshots or whatever. I like seeing that kind of stuff.
Interesting. I mean, the developers have already said that they are going to be looking at the progression for the Battle Pass as one thing, along with, I mean, again, they did say it's a beta. They are going to be working on this as they go through it. So hopefully it won't take that long. I mean, obviously there's a holiday coming up in next week, so we'll kind of see what they push out.
Season 2, they're not going to push out an XP per game, some way to solve the Battle Pass challenge system.
Well,
before Christmas.
I mean, we do already know that starting next week is their first major event, the Fracture Tenra. How am I supposed to say that word?
Yes.
Okay, Tenray. I don't know. It starts November 23rd. We don't know a whole lot more past that at this point, but it will be the first major event inside the game. I'm super pumped to get into it. So,
cool. Yep, I'll be playing
Your first chance to work to get to the samurai armor.
That's true. We might have to put together some streams for this, guys. Get the team together. That'd be a lot of fun.
We need to squad up. I wanted to squad up with everybody last night, but nobody wanted to play with me, Chris.
I got to get some stuff figured out. The 4K capture card is being super cranky on whether or not it recognizes my computer, and that's a bit of an issue when you're trying to play a game.
But hey, you, dear listener, get on our Discord right now and come play Halo with us. This is not a request. This is a demand.
Yeah.
We know you're out there.
It's free to play. Just play with us. Yeah.
Absolutely. One other major thing to make sure we note, especially considering the time this podcast comes out, you have until, what would it be? You have until the 23rd to collect some free items that come with signing in on the first week of the beta. So jump in there.
You just got to sign in.
Yep. You just got to, doesn't matter how busy you are, just get in there, just hit the sign in button. You get some
get your stuff.
Yeah, you get an I Love Bees emblem, and who doesn't love I Love Bees? That was awesome back in the day. Yeah.
That's
actually my emblem.
Is it? Oh, of course it would.
Yeah.
I haven't messed with that stuff yet. I got to get in there and really play with
Those
it.
were my first achievements because I only had a few minutes between some stuff last night. So I quick hopped in and started customizing. I got like 6 achievements. I was like,
You do
okay,
get a
cool.
lot just for doing that stuff. I did realize I adjusted my AI to be what I've now found to be the most annoying AI in the whole game. I haven't listened to the other ones. I don't care. This one is the most annoying. It's like Flint or something. It's like the third one in. It's like a little triangle
Oh.
thing, and I need it to stop. So I got to alter that once we're done with this. I'll probably jump in there and get that fixed. But you guys ready to start talking about some new info we have on the campaign itself?
I suppose so.
All
Sure.
right. So yeah, we did get some more information on the Halo campaign.
We did.
Most of it is kind of confirming some things we already knew or some things we kind of inferred, I think is the right word for the scenario. But yeah, like we know it takes place on the Zeta Halo. 18 months after Halo 5. Matt, you're better with the timeline stuff than I am on this one.
Yeah, no, I mean it's 18 months after Halo 5. And I guess kind of, a lot of the stuff we've seen is some big battle takes place, and that's 6 months prior to starting Halo Infinite. So I don't know, Chiefs in cryo, captured, sleepy, floating, I don't know, it's floating in space, something, right? But they're out there at Zeta Halo, which could be I'm excited to see what they do lore wise, because that's an exciting Halo ring. It's one of the original 30,000 kilometer rings, the massive ones from the original 12 Halo array. But it got damaged during the flood Forerunner War, and ended up they shed a lot of the stuff, made it smaller, and became one of the 7. So again, there's a lot of cool stuff they can do there. But yeah, so 18 months since Halo 5, I kind of feel like they might be trying to pull a Rise of the Skywalker, where they're just going to try to just brush away some of the stuff that happened in 5, but we'll see. We don't know. We'll find out when the campaign comes out.
I mean, so one thing that I noticed is that a lot of the only thing that we saw as far as enemies were like Covenant enemies. I mean, they're not technically the Covenant, right? But like they're what the hell were those things called? Like all the Forerunner, all the Forerunner enemies from Prometheans. Thank you.
Yeah,
they are not. They have been confirmed. They are not in the game.
This is a good campaign.
The Covenant now are the Banished.
Yeah.
So they're led by the brute chieftain that literally just blanked on his name.
It's not
anyways,
like
we don't have it written down either.
Atriox is from Halo Wars, right?
No, Atriox is Atriox is the leader of the Banished. What we've seen in a lot of the marketing material is Escharum.
This new guy.
Sure.
Yeah, one of like captains or whatever. But yeah, so no Prometheans, no mention of the Flood, but they're in it. I'm calling it now. The Flood are in it. It's good. They're trying to make this a spiritual successor to Halo CE. If anybody paid attention to Halo CE up to launch? I didn't either. But playing the game, you're 5 levels in, you're having a good time murdering these alien bastards that are trying to destroy the human race. And then you go hunting after Captain Keyes because something's up, and you get down there and some crazy shit happens with the Flood, right? You find out, right? Something's going to happen. Something midway, 2/3 way through the game, floods in it. They gotta be. They're making a comeback. I'm calling it now.
I mean, I honestly, I think it'll be closer, more akin to Halo 2, where they showed up in like the third mission. Your first mission as the Arbiter.
But they're trying to keep it right. We knew the Flood existed at that point, right?
Yeah.
And they were kind of like, oh, we got to fight the Covenant because they're trying to destroy us, and what's this Flood thing, right? But like, the advertising and the talk everything's very reminiscent of how Bungie led up to Halo CE's launch and didn't say a thing about it, right? Plus, they're kind of in a big part of the story that I think in one of the I know Halo Wars 2. They're back. They're found on the Ark, right? So I mean, they're already still in the universe, and I mean the Halo rings were there to kind of a lot of them were there to study the Flood, along with preserving life and then destroying the universe of all sentient beings when necessary. So, they're coming back.
So do you think this is going to really like, I guess, bookend the trilogy of what 343 is trying to do, and they're going to like not make any more Halo games? Or do you think this is going to kind of spawn another trilogy? Like they talked about this as being a kind of spiritual successor, but almost kind of like a reboot.
Yeah.
So
I think this is, I'm going to use another Star Wars reference. I think this is Force Awakens mixed with Rise of Skywalker, where they want to do a fresh start. It's going to be reminiscent of Halo CE, but they also want to kind of Rise of Skywalker and kind of forget about episode 8 and kind of, hand wave away some things and, just try to ignore and get back to what everybody loves.
Yeah.
Which is the multiplayer.
Yeah. What was it? The Reclaimer trilogy, I think, is what they were originally making with Halo 4, 5. And then, I'm going to guess that they're going to reference that's canon. That's part of the story, but I think they're going to separate themselves from it. And this is a, I don't know if they put a name to it, but this is a new beginning. This is whether it's a trilogy or whatever, this is the beginning of whatever this next story is that 343 wants to tell. And they did say that they like Halo Infinite is, if everything works out and plans don't change, is going to kind of continue to grow. They made it sound like maybe in 2 years we'll get a whole nother campaign dropped and then a whole nother iteration of multiplayer, right? And then it's going to start. My guess is it's going to start kind of feeling like MCC is now, right?
Right.
You're going to have those different.
They're really leaning into the game as a service kind of a thing.
Well,
it's Halo Infinite could become more of like a platform for Halo rather than like just a isolated Halo installation.
I mean, you call it Infinite. It kind of has an implication that this is something that should go on for, a while at the very least.
Eternity.
And I'm not even and it's like I think you're going to start, the story is going to expand outside of say to Halo 2 at some point.
Oh yeah, you'd have to.
Hopefully even in the campaign we're getting here now.
And they're alluding to that a little bit in the multiplayer too, aren't they? Is that they're kind of having like these side stories going on between the seasons of the multiplayer stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how closely that ties. I don't think it ties in that closely to the campaign stuff, but it's got its own sort of story to it.
Yeah, we got that trailer for, was that Gamescom for the kind of story with the season. So I haven't watched. I don't know if that's the exact same thing that starts off the season. I don't know. I'd have to dig into see where it is. That's the video you get when you start the Academy.
I did the Academy just before I jumped on, and that's where it starts.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to see what kind of story they tell there. But no, I imagine, again, my guess is it's going to be like a newer kind of maybe hopefully a better organized, laid out MCC, as far as every few years we're going to get a new campaign drop, a new iteration of multiplayer. Then you'll be able to manage installs like you can with MCC, and it's just going to grow and be a massive game if you leave everything installed, but you'll be able to piecemeal campaigns and multiplayers out and whatever else they add.
Yeah.
Battle Royale.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Battle Royale does.
I mean, Battle Royale is kind of whatever. I don't care that much.
I took it.
Yeah. I don't care that much about Battle Royale stuff, to be honest with you. But I know there's a lot of people who do want Battle Royale.
I just want to play an ODST again, and I actually want to have a couple missions where I drop in my Hell Jumper pod, whatever they're called.
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
I think that's going to be part of this. It's still my theory. We know that
it makes sense.
Yeah, you get to drop in with Pelicans, so to have someone sit back and say, okay, we're going to do this, and you'll be able to hell jump at least once or twice or into particular areas isn't a reach. I'm going to keep doing this the whole time.
Ugh. That was as bad as my Pringles joke.
Yeah, all right. Any other thoughts on?
Well, I mean, we didn't really dig into I think what was it? Game Informer and IGN kind of dug into some of the campaign stuff they got to play.
They had a first impression.
First impression. It sounded like they got to play the opening mission and some early parts of when you're on Halo. We're gonna say it now. I don't know what could be spoiler and what might not be spoiler. So So just
Well,
cover your
we're
ears.
getting into the campaign. If you don't want to
Yeah.
know about it, if you're listening, I can't really help you. If you're watching, there will be a chapter marker. Skip to the next one.
Yeah, we don't know what could be spoiler and what isn't. So just maybe this is nothing. But yeah, no, I mean, as the story starts, I think this is known, but like we don't know what's happened to Cortana. You have the weapon, and you're.
But she has referenced, so I mean, that did cover my big fear in during the E3 trailer.
Yeah,
where
that she's just gone.
Yeah, nothing. We don't know anything about what happened with Cortana or the result of Halo 5.
And I imagine that's going to be some of the mystery they've baked into the campaign of like, one, you're trying to fight and organize the UNSC on the Halo ring because whatever happened with the battle, you're here stuck with the Banished, right? And you're trying to collect all your bros together so you can have a united front against the Banished. But I think part of that is also going to be trying to find, I guess, whatever happened to Cortana, what happened with the battle 6 months earlier. Probably get to know new Cortana, aka the weapon. Apparently that's her name too, not some like code name thing, but they could also be teasing too. But who knows?
It wouldn't take long for Master Chief to just be like, no, that's not your name. It's whatever.
It's Babe.
Right now, my current theory is Leela.
Leela.
It is a reference to
Futurama.
No, it's a reference to Marathon. It was the first AI you interact with.
Okay, interesting. That could be cool. But yeah, I mean, they kind of talked a little bit more about the open air. They don't want to call it open world, and it doesn't sound
entirely true.
Even the press that were able to play it even said it's it's not some big like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry map, but we'll see if it's fun. But I mean, it and if there is like all these weird points of interest, but it does sound like go to an area, clear out what they mentioned of hunt down special targets, clear out bases to create forward operating bases, which like I guess the cool idea there is the more FOBs, forward operating bases, that you unlock, the more valor you get. Valor is not, that's just allows you to call in bigger and better things the more valor you have. The good news for anybody that doesn't want to do any of this open world air quotes stuff, it sounds like you can kind of just stick on whatever the main quest is if you get to this area and you don't want to clear out the different zones.
Yeah. So what I'm kind of hoping for in all this, I mean, I'm not usually a super huge fan of open world games, especially if they kind of mimic like the Ubisoft grade open world games. But I'm hoping this is more Breath of the Wild like in terms of its open world, and not so much like an Assassin's Creed Odyssey open world. What I mean by that is like one of the things I really did like about Breath of the Wild is that, and what it sounds like they're kind of alluding to in the Halo campaign, is that it's very non-linear. Is that like there are campaign points that you need to hit, but you can kind of do them out of order. And from the press releases that we have gotten, I think even over a year ago, kind of alluded to that's what they're kind of shooting for. So that's kind of what I'm expecting going into this, is something a little bit more akin to like, we're going to give you this big open area. Now it's up to you how you want to progress the campaign and when you're going to progress the campaign. That's kind of what I'm hoping for in this anyway. That they borrowed more inspiration from, like a Breath of the Wild, less so from like a Ghost Recon Wildlands or something. You know what I mean?
I just hope there's still some very well crafted, essentially linear missions.
Right.
Because
I will put an asterisk on that too, is that like one of the things that's nice about the Breath of the Wild is that they had very different areas. From the only thing that we've seen in this campaign so far is that there is a kind of upper level and a lower level. There was like some sort of like tunnels and things like that looked very like Forerunner looking. And then there's everything on the upper level, which looks like level 2 of Halo CE.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we get a little more than that.
And in some like banished base area and stuff. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's one of the cool things about a lot of the Halo games was the variety of places you go. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's more than just top of Halo. Yeah, reminiscent of Halo, level 2 of Halo CE. Forerunner kind of dungeony areas and banished base areas. So hopefully there's more there, and hopefully there's more, just again, more missions that take you other places on the ring or off the ring, whether it's banished ships, whether it's UNSC ships, whether it's Forerunner stuff, whether it's other planets. A lot of options there. But I'm hoping this isn't. I've said this before. There's like 2 open areas in Gears 5, and I don't think they added much to the game. They were just kind of larger areas to travel in, and then you found these little spokes, I'll say, on the edges of, and you went in, got a little bit of story, or went in, found a fancy weapon, And to me, I guess a lot of people like that, but I wish they just would have cut that out, and it would just been story missions, right? You know, I like open world games, but I'll reserve my opinion on this, but I'm a little worried. So with Halo Infinite.
Nah, I mean, I don't know.
But you're a Far Cry, guy. You like a lot of that open world stuff.
I like open world, but I also am a massive BioShock fan. BioShock might currently be one of my all-time favorite games, and that's super linear.
So I mean, like, this has been kind of drawing the point of contention between between you and Matt. Is that, like, what are your sort of expectations going into this, Chris?
Mine would be, because this is based upon what I'm seeing so far. I'm expecting to have a game that does have has a fuller world for you, fuller ring world for you to explore. But if you want to ignore it, you just ignore it, and that's it. That's kind of like some of the points in some of the earlier Halo games. It's just more of it. There are always occasionally these little spots that you could go interact with, or you could just completely brush it off and not really give a crap. It's just going to be more. And I would honestly attribute that more to they have the hardware that will actually support it these days than anything else. But I don't know that it would subtract from the game itself.
Okay, because that was going to be kind of a follow-up question that I had is, what is your opinion then on with them sort of tackling this open world concept versus a linear campaign? With an open world concept, it could be perceived that it's a bit harder to tell a more cohesive story when you have things kind of fragmented about the map and you kind of pick and choose what you want to do at your choosing. So I mean, like, what's kind of your opinion on that? Does that kind of
It depends on how it actually handles things, because you can still funnel players through a story progression at the end of the day. That's something a lot of games can do and handle fairly well. I think people see open world and say that it's immediately not what they're used to, ergo it's not good. I see the chance to just have more things to do if you want, but otherwise you just ignore it and just keep moving. The only way it's a hang up is if it's the exploration of that world is tied to the progression of the story, which we don't know yet. That's kind of the key thing we need to find out.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, my thought would be is that, if we don't have a good variety of, like, areas to go and explore, that would be a pretty big detriment too, is that, when you do these sort of linear campaign missions, you can kind of go crazy and have different areas or, the different biomes and things like that. It would be nice to see something like that. We haven't seen anything like that yet in any of the press releases, but again,
keeping that close to the chest so far.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to see when the time comes, I suppose. I mean, Matt, what do you think? I mean, do you think that do you think it being a non-linear campaign could be detrimental to the storytelling of this? Or do you think that just kind of a break in the formula is, I guess, inherently a bad thing?
I mean, I guess, to Chris's point, it's going to kind of depend on how they handle it. I personally would prefer that they just keep me on the roller coaster, instead of having me, get off and, go do this. Oh, I could do this objective and that objective. But, I just, and I don't mind big, large open areas. But I know me too. So I'm going to go into these open areas and try to clear them out, especially since there's what they call Spartan cores and stuff that help you upgrade different armor abilities. But no, I mean, the Matt in me wants to say yes, it's going to be detrimental to the story and it's going to suck, but we really don't know. Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing is because we haven't seen very much. For all we know, what we've seen so far kind of constitutes. These open worlds may only constitute like 50% of the game, and the rest of the game is more of that, you know, the library or some of those more funneled kind of storytelling missions.
Mhm.
We just haven't seen it, unfortunately. Well,
I
don't know.
I guess when I'm experiencing a story, something that should be rich with story, you know, like Doom's a good one, BioShock, you know, you're kind of constantly just, you know, there's never just like, here's an open area, go ahead and, you know, go play the story whenever, you know, that's more, you know, you can tell good stories that way. But I mean, what's one recently that was it Rise of the Tomb? No, what was it Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Right. So to me, they expand a little bit more on the open world from the second game. They added more chores to do, and I found myself doing more and more things that I kind of lost track of what the main objective was, and really took away from the story pacing from the first two games. Again, I know there's some like open world stuff in those games, but they were never massive. I found in the third one there was a lot more chores, and it really took me out of the story. And you know, you wanted to do it so you could level up and get points and skills and all that stuff. And it kind of hurt the narrative for me. I kind of lost track because I was like, well, I want to get better at all these skills that they put in here. And I could see something similar to Halo, is where, you know, you're taking the player out of this. You're tempting the player to stop, you know, going on the narrative train. Which again, some people may like. For me, I'd rather just stay on that train and just give me those levels. Let me work through them. Let me consume the story.
But
hell, you could have a lot of those objectives like open up after. It's a bad comparison, but like Destiny, right? First couple levels you play in there, you didn't know it at the time, but you're kind of working through some levels, but really you're working through the open world areas. But at the end, you can come back to those patrol spaces and do objectives, do different things, you know, after, you know, maybe the first time through the experience, it's a much more linear thing. And then you can come back and they have these, you know, oh, you know, you beat the campaign now go upgrade your gear by running around the Halo ring and saving some Marines and opening FOBs and killing this target that got away.
I feel like at the end of the day, that's all comes down to the player. Because I mean, I have turned Fallout into a linear storytelling experience, especially like New Vegas. I ended up following a very linear path until all of a sudden I realized I was more or less up to the end, because I just got engrossed into what was going on. Mm-hmm. It's all about. At the end of the day, it is on their side to make that story compelling, to make you kind of keep going forward, and the player to actually get engaged into that. I mean
that's true. I mean, that's, you know, you bring up a very good point that, you know, there's a lot of really good storytelling in games like Fallout and, you know, those kinds of open world games that do tell a pretty cohesive story, even with allowing you to branch out and kind of do a lot of other stuff. But I think if I were to flip this on its head, though, I think one of the really big concerns is that this is a really big shakeup of the formula. Because, you know, the core Halo fan base has been pretty rock solid in this sort of formula for 20 years. Switching over to this, you know, of course, could be viewed as just either trend chasing or a flex of their technology or something that's really not what they're not aiming to do. What am I trying to say here? They're not aiming to go and tell necessarily a very cohesive story, or at least they're going to try to, but they're also trying to pile on that, you know, we want to chase trends, but we also want to flex our big hardware. We want to do all these different things. And I think the worry comes from is that they're trying something very, very new that they haven't done before, which I think is fair, because if I said, if we were to flip this on its head, take your Fallout example. What if Fallout decided to go and they wanted a very linear mission structure? Like they abandoned the open world idea. They say, no, we want to have like really, like scripted events. We want to have set pieces. We want to have, very linear game. Like I feel like that would probably shake up that fan base pretty big too. Cause it's like, what? Like, like this is stuff that I'm really used to.
I would argue the difference is Fallout hasn't had to deal with a couple of releases that weren't well received.
I mean, Fallout 76 wasn't very well received.
Well, but that was for different reasons.
Yeah. Although, I mean, to be fair, I think some of those Fallout, like, I think a lot of Fallout games were also. Yeah. I think a lot of people like a lot of the different Fallout games for different reasons, right? Just like the Halo games. I mean, people loved Halo 5 for the multiplayer. People loved Halo 4 for whatever accolades that got. I don't know. I didn't like Halo 4, but yeah, I mean, like people will like it for different reasons. And I think really the biggest blunder that they had was Halo 5. Like for the most part, all of the Halo games were pretty decently well received. Except Halo 5's campaign, which felt like kind of a mess, but that's a whole different story in and of itself.
I forget how she did, but one of the press people like poked fun at Halo 5 and like I forget the new character's name, but they're like, yeah, 343 actually gave him a personality unlike Locke in Halo 5.
I feel bad. That's an actual actor, like
wrecked.
Played Luke Cage in the Marvel Netflix shows.
I mean, he's a fine actor. He just got a bad script.
Yeah. I hope. Hopefully,
and not a lot to do.
Do you guys want to keep talking Halo, or do you guys want to move on?
We should move on because
I was going to say we've been talking Halo for a bit. All right,
with the marketing.
Let's So like beyond that, I mean, let's end this on like a good happy note. We love Halo, right? Like we don't want to just shit on 343. We don't want to just shit on Halo because at the end of the day, Halo is like. We have very good memories of Halo.
Well, and I think the brass tacks right now, in the actual experience of playing it, we're enjoying the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us say otherwise.
I think for like, especially for like Matt and I, what it's like right now is like, we saw Halo kind of do a face plant on Halo 5. And now they're going in, they're on the bars, and now they're up in the air doing all these flips. And we're just like, stick landing.
Yeah,
and I already have my card coming out.
Optimistic.
Yeah, we're cautiously. Yeah, we want it to be good
a lot, but I want it.
But we're just like,
of course, you guys do.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, one of the things that they ended with the Halo, with this Xbox celebration was like, like I feel like we need to reminisce a little bit to kind of make ourselves feel better.
We should do that. Yeah.
I want to point out one good thing though about this new campaign stuff. No, it's quick. The one thing 343 is finally nailed. They like home run. Master Chief looks fucking beautiful.
He does look really good.
They nailed it. He looks how he's supposed to be. I don't know what they did to him in Halo 4 and Halo 5, but Chief's looking fine, looking fly in his Mjolnir or whatever version armor it is now. I don't know what 100%. They're on. He looks
what are
good.
They 7 or something now? 6?
I don't know where they're at. Yeah.
So then I ask you guys this question. On the Halo, after the whole celebration, on Twitter, Xbox took to Twitter and they basically asked everybody, what was your favorite Halo moment? So I ask you guys, what was your favorite Halo moment? Do you have a favorite Halo moment?
I have a lot, but I have one in particular, yeah.
Can I do a disappointing one?
No, this is
trying to end this on a happy note, Matt.
I think this
your favorite Halo. Yeah, your favorite. What is it?
Act 3 not being in Halo 2. I mean, that's a very like it ended epically, but there was supposed to be more, and then we had to wait 3 years for Halo 3 to finish the fight. Like that was epic in its own way, in a fun and sad way.
That was kind of funny.
No, I mean, like I think I'd have to go like the earliest one was probably playing through Legendary with my buddy and hitting the flood for the first time, because you were what, 11, I was 15, 16, and I was like, holy shit, what are these things?
How about you, Rich?
Oh man, so my favorite, I mean, always like my favorite memories of Halo have got to be the multiplayer stuff. I mean, that's going to be kind of a given. Like the campaign was fun, and I did a lot of co-op with the campaign with a lot of friends and all that. But my favorite memories were always the LAN parties when we were in like middle school, high school, all the way up and even till Halo 2's release and after. We had people over. We would have people over and we would play. Set up 3-4 Xboxes in my basement. We'd have our friends lug their CRT TVs over. We'd be calling up as many friends as we could get and be like, okay, how many controllers do you got? All right, bring 3. Bring as many controllers as you can grab. And then we'd have a bunch of people come over and have like a really kick-ass LAN party.
Play till the wee hours of the morning, drinking Mountain Dew and
Brent pizza and Mountain Dew and
Krispy
chips
Kreme
and all
donuts.
that. Yep.
Onions.
And we would be playing until like 4 a.m. Basically everybody would just eventually sleep at the house, or don't. They just stay up all night. It's just kind of up to them. But like we had so many of those throughout like middle school, high school. That was eventually what I did for like my graduation party. When I graduated high school, we ended up having a Halo LAN. Just kind of, it was like a yay, like LAN parties are fun. Yeah, that was what got me into playing Halo. Or not really. That wasn't what got me into playing Halo. That's a different story. But
That's that was memory.
That is my fondest memory of playing Halo, is the LAN parties.
I have
including like our special guest, like one of our special guests, Sam. He's been on the podcast a couple of times. He was a participant in many of those LAN parties, supplying copies of the Halo disc and all that. And shout out to all the friends of mine who are, if you're listening to this, fondest memories.
I have a lot of those kind of memories too, though. I will say with Halo, and if you follow me on Twitter at Zomper, if you already know about this, when back in my senior year of high school, which was 2002, 2003, I had 4 hours of study hall, basically.
Ooh.
Yeah. I front loaded all the early years of school. So I had a bunch of spare time. And I actually managed to share that spare time with our buddy Mike. And because I had the Xbox and we had access to the video production, the video studio, the TV studio they had in our school.
Sure. Yep.
I hauled the Xbox to school and we played Halo for 4 hours pretty much every morning for like at least the full semester. And it was awesome. We were just a dark studio, just us playing on an Xbox. Occasionally someone would come in and we'd just...
Teacher? Nope. All right. It's all good.
Just keep going. It's just an 8. It's fine. We just keep going. And, we just burned through the campaign a million times, did a ton of multiplayer, just so many fond memories doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely loved it.
So then I want to hear a fun... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
To say, you want to hear a fun story?
Yeah.
I kind of forget about this sometimes. I was in a commercial for Halo.
What?
Where are you now?
I am going to find this.
Halo Reach commercial. So I worked at Best Buy at the time, and out here is in Minneapolis is Best Buy headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were putting together a commercial for Halo Reach, and they put out a call to a bunch of the stores in the area, and a bunch of me and some of the guys I worked with, we ended up going up to one of the, because they filmed it at a store, one of the stores nearby. And we went up there. I think I'm in it for like maybe it's trying to remember. It's been so long since I've watched it or looked at it. It was just an advertisement for Halo Reach at Best Buy, and a bunch of people are standing around 2 people playing the game, and it cuts back and forth between a bunch of people cheering these 2 people on, and then game clips and stuff. I'm somewhere in the crowd. I should put it on a resume.
There you go. Yeah, it's your acting.
No, that's definitely it. I see two of the guys I worked with. Yeah, right up there. Good times. I'll find me in there.
So
But
I would say stay tuned. I'm sure we're pretty much assuming we're going to have Halo news probably for the rest of the year, realistically. At least our year before we go on hiatus for the holiday season. But let's jump into our next segment here, the Game Awards and the best part, the Campies.
Ooh.
Yeah. We
Campfire Awards.
Yes. Oh, yes. Our award that we give out for the
To
games we played.
ourselves. High five, guys.
Well, I like to think we give them out to the companies that whose games we've played. They did announce the Game Awards. We already kind of knew it was going to be December 9th of Thursday coming up here. They did post today the link to go to vote for the games for the different categories. I have already voted myself.
You voted for yourself?
For everything, yeah.
Yeah, just write it.
I have to be honest. I mean, like my voice work in Resident Evil Village was top notch. So I made sure to vote for myself on that one. Actually, I just gave a little hint on who I voted for one of the awards. But yeah, we expect to show. They expect to show 40 to 50 different games. I'm assuming that's new games. Like we're getting trailers again.
World premieres.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we get to learn about. I might have to take the next day off just to
and the way
take it all in.
And the way Keely's been going with all this stuff.
Yeah, he's been crushing.
You know, a lot of the stuff coming out.
Oh yeah.
Funny, I forgot I put this note in here. I put Halo series ? Because there's supposed to be some like TV show movie stuff in there.
You think?
We could get more. We could get more. Yeah, but I put that note in there before yesterday happened. So, yeah, we could get more or just nothing at all. But
I mean, the campaign would be live at that point, so it wouldn't be horribly surprising to see them drop a full size trailer.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe actually hear Pablo Schreiber play Master Chief, because that's something I'm still not ready for. To not hear the same.
It
old
is what
voice.
it is.
Yeah, it's a movie or a TV show. It was going to be different, but he's a good actor. I like him a lot. It's just going to be different. But
no, I mean, to mention too, the Campies will be covering both the awards and the Campies.
Correct.
The following episode after that, so
which will be our final episode for the year.
Yep.
That'll
close out our December. Then we go on our holiday break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Though you will be able to keep an eye on YouTube. We're still going to put up some other content, some streaming, that kind of stuff. I promise.
We'll be around.
Yeah, we're going to be in Discord. Will definitely be active, but so make sure to don't forget about us, please. But yeah, I'm excited for the Game Awards. It's always a good time. We get to see some of the coolest trailers at the Game Awards now, which makes me feel a little weird, but it is what it is. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
No, it'll be interesting. I mean, I won't be able to watch it live. I'll have to watch a rebroadcast of something.
In
Rebroadcast
4K.
of it.
In 4K.
Yep, in 4K.
4K.
But stay tuned for the Campies, because that's going to be fun.
That's always. I'm so excited to start thinking up that episode and what I want to vote for. Yeah, I'm so pumped.
Last of Us 2 is taking home all trophies.
Yes. They're going to win everything again.
So let's get to our main, the only other game that we really have a conversation about. Among Us came out with a pretty substantial update this past week that added a ton of content for the game, including achievements, which is kind of neat.
Okay.
Yeah. I know a lot of new cosmetic stuff because that's kind of where they kind of make most of their money at this point, because the game was so cheap when they sold it. Along with kind of helpful for a lot of people, account linking, because they're starting to become available everywhere. Though I don't think they don't come on consoles until next month, right?
I think it's early first week or two of next month.
That's what I thought. Okay. So yeah, and roles. So you're not just the imposter or a crew member. There are roles you could play now, which Oh my god, I really want to play this game so badly right now. But
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some people together to play it.
right?
But they also have they also brought in their own like sort of progression system so that you get like experience for playing games, doing tasks, that sort of thing, which makes sense why they would add in the account linking, because
Yeah.
if you're going to keep your progression, you kind of want to keep that across your platforms, which is
Right.
pretty good.
December 14th.
December 14th. Okay. So that's Wednesday in the middle of December. I mean, obviously the 14th would be the middle, but all right, cool. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited to play some more. We'll try to get some people from the Discord together and we'll all
I'm
play
really
some
curious
Among
how
Us.
the roles are gonna
Right.
work out.
Yeah, I some of them
There's mods that already do
Already
stuff
do
like
stuff
that.
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that seems to be where they
I
take
haven't
a
played
lot
the
of it.
game a ton. But it
Well,
was fun when I played it.
there's a lot of modding community and a lot of the community that has kind of developed their own games within the game. Like hide and seek
Yeah.
started off as just a game people played, and now it's a whole mode inside the game itself.
Yep.
So it is cool to see them kind of adopt that kind of stuff and not tack it on as like, hey, we did this, you got to pay. This is just a free download, and you just have to pay for the cosmetic stuff per usual. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. Join our Discord. We'll let you know when we're going to try to get online, and we'll all try to kill each other out in space.
Sounds very sus.
It's
Very sus.
always
Who did I
sus.
say? I said sus to somebody and they were super confused. They didn't know what it meant.
Really? I thought that was
They're-
so much into
they're-
the lexicon now.
Yeah.
They're really sussy.
Yeah. He's a real
I mean,
sus guy.
that in and of itself is sus. But all right, you guys ready for the quick round? Get
Let's
through
do
some
it.
kindling. First
Take
off,
it home, Chris.
All right. First off, here we got Twitch on Switch. I tripped
Twitch
on
on
it.
Stadia.
Twitch is now on Switch. Kind of helpful, especially if you're.
Cool.
I'm assuming it helps you stream too, not just watch. So that's got to be kind of nice. Always good to have some native support. Steam Deck got delayed. Not horribly surprising.
Not a
frankly.
shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chip. The supply chain is still an absolute mess, especially if you want chips. So it's going to be that way, sadly, for quite a while. And a positive news for Steam is their festival in February of 2022, a multi-day celebration of upcoming games. Save the date for our next fest headed to Steam in February. Explore and play hundreds of game demos, watch developer live streams, and chat with the teams about their games in progress.
Is
It's
this
very interesting. This is
That
new.
sounds kinda
Steam
cool.
Fest new? It is
Yeah,
new,
that's
right?
new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I'm interested.
Really? Because it sounds like a lot of early access stuff, Matt.
Yeah.
You really excited?
They're gonna show off the Halo TV series.
That's
Halo
Another-
is
what it
on
does.
Steam.
Another 15-second trailer.
There's been a lot of news implying that putting Halo on Steam is one of the smartest things Microsoft has done in a
Yeah.
while.
Absolutely.
Of course
And-
it is.
Yeah, right. A little piece. It is starting to look like the the GTA remastered games that just came out this past week may have been based off mobile ports, not on the original games. Between some of the graphical issues that are coming up and some of the control methods, like these games really play and look like a mess. And it turns out the developer of these games was in fact the developer of the original mobile port, who also made the Xbox 360 port, which was widely regarded to be an absolutely awful game. And it looks like that's just built off that. These remasters are just built off that same tech, so they're not fun.
Which is sad. I mean, the thing to point out too is like Rockstar took all the other versions down from their store, so there's no other way to
Mhm.
buy
Can't play it
these,
anymore.
the original ones. So,
It's
Good thing I
frustrating,
still have my PS2.
right?
which is sad for me too. As somebody, I was looking forward to this release because I've never played these games, and now I'll wait and
Yeah,
then I'll forget about it, and then I'll go back to never having played a
the
GTA game.
I will say the developer has responded to say they're going to fix it, but
They're just gonna copy and paste all
I
the
mean,
mods over
I didn't want to
from
say it out loud,
PC.
but yeah, go ahead, say the quiet part loud. That's fine, Matt.
My favorite part was the rain was so bad, and you could
It's
see
so
you
atrocious.
See it
and
through everything.
you could identify the pattern
Yeah,
because they just tile the same kind of animation. And if you look on the ground, like when they were on the road and stuff, it's just like the exact
it's
same.
atrocious.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, I loved it when they had. I love seeing the clip of the rain clipping behind the ocean and then
Mhm.
landing on the
Yeah.
beach.
or whatever they like.
That was
there was part
funny.
of the video where he went under the bridge and it's still pouring under the
Mhm.
bridge.
Yeah, because you can't on a mobile device, you can't really develop occlusion like you could on a full console game or full PC game. So
Mhm.
yeah, no, they're really bad. Star Wars Eclipse is the rumored Quantic Dreams game. I can't say that word either.
Quadratic formula
I didn't.
teams.
Don't get me started, man. We do know that Quantic is working on a Star Wars game. This is kind of the rumor. So, you really want me to say that name? I see that. Whoever put that in there said 200 years before Luke Skywalker, during the High Republic era, which is kind of the new point from a lot of Star Wars media. So it's not horribly surprising that they are looking there more so than anywhere else. So far, the narrative has been marked by exploration of the edges of the galaxy before settlement of what's known in the movies as the Outer Rim.
I put a lot of work into these notes. I'm sad when you don't read them.
I am not
Oh.
going to read that. I refuse. Fans of it's Xbox 360, right? Man, that's been a long time. 1 versus 100 might be making its return. Rumored to be in development at Altspace VR, which is a part of Microsoft's mixed reality division. That's why I thought I heard that name before. Yeah, it might be coming back again, which I never played it when it was part of the Xbox 360. I don't know if you guys ever touched it at all.
I never did either. I know
I never
people
did.
liked it and were excited,
It-
and I've seen
it was
people
really popular.
occasionally.
I remember watching the TV show.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yep. Yeah. So it was one person against a crowd of people. I know that they did actually have at the time Microsoft points being a part of what you could win, but I don't really remember the mechanics of the game itself because it's been 15 years. Oh God,
It's a big
so old.
trivia game,
Yeah,
but yeah.
it was a trivia contest.
It's during that, the Weakest Link and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which I actually think is still on. All that kind of stuff. It's that era. Fable 4 may have been in development longer than we were initially, what we initially thought. I can't really say that we were misled or anything by that because we just didn't know. This is coming from one of the engineers over at Playground Games, the current developers of Fable 4, and of course of the absolutely fantastic Forza Horizon 5.
I'm
Go ahead.
excited for if this is true. For obviously, there's plenty of games that take longer than 4 years, or due to potentially reboots or just the
Yeah.
scale of the game. But if it's been about 4 years, and again, we don't know how much of the pre-production and stuff like that was happening, right? But this is exciting. I hope this means that Game Awards, maybe a trailer.
That would be kind of
Could be.
Maybe
Yeah, would be
maybe
the
this
time.
is a next fall type thing we're actually getting, because I know when they announced this, everybody was speculating that they essentially that they're just starting and it was just a CG
Right.
trailer they
we
showed,
might not see
right?
this till like 2024 or something like
Yeah, but this could be that it's coming sooner.
that.
My
Oh,
hopes are it's coming sooner, maybe like next year. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
right. Speaking of games, I do hope we get another trailer for at the Game Awards. Starfield is going to get full mod support according to Todd Howard, which is going to be awesome. They've done a pretty good job in general implementing mod support into the Bethesda lineup. Some of the paid schemes seem a little weird, but overall, at least they're supporting it on all devices, which just makes it a ton of fun.
I didn't see if it was coming at launch though. That's the only I kind of looked for it. So unless something came out in the last day or two, I didn't see if
I cannot remember if Fallout had it at launch or not.
yeah. But I
obviously
mean,
Elder
the
Scrolls
good news
didn't,
is it's
but
coming, and
yeah.
it will be there at some point.
Along with something else that's coming is Fallout 5. Probably the least shocking news we could be giving you, but the one thing we will forewarn you is it's going to be a long time before we see it. We have Starfield coming out next year. We have Elder Scrolls coming out. Yep. At some point in the future, we don't really have a solid one on that one yet. So, but
I like reading the article too. Todd Howard is literally like, it's basically just an idea and it's going to be made, but literally all they have of it is a 1-page document that probably is just like in it, like
it says Fallout written in crayon.
yeah, it just says Fallout.
Yeah, it's a little crayon drawing of a Brotherhood of Steel
power suit
armor
or something.
Yeah. It's probably just such an insanely high level view of like their idea that they,
right.
Yeah. But it's a little ways out. Yeah.
So hopefully, honestly, let's let them focus on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. I want to see those games come out first. Anyways, I do love Fallout. I'll be patient. That's okay. And a small bit of unfortunate news. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, a Wonderlands one-shot adventure, is out now on Epic Games Store. At the time you're listening to this, it is no longer free to download. It was very briefly. It is now, though, only $10, which really isn't that bad. I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually play it yet, but it is kind of leading you into the Tiny Tina's
Wonderlands.
It is Wonderlands, yeah. I was like, I wanted to say that, but my brain says, no, that's wrong.
That's because they put Wonderlands one-shot in the title.
Yeah.
No, so this is out on, like you said, the Steam, Epic, Xbox, PlayStation, all that fun stuff. This is my understanding, because I got it free on Epic and I booted it up to kind of see what they did. All they've done, I played 5 minutes basically of it, is you can pick any of the normal Vault Hunters like normal, but you're at 0. All the enemies start at 0. So basically they just kind of pulled out that DLC and made it its own contained story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, which is, I think, a great idea for anybody that's not played it before, but doesn't want to spend the time leveling up. Because it is like, I think, minimum level 30 if you have it as DLC in Borderlands 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a famous DLC.
This is fantastic. I've already got 2 buddies. I think we're going to try to play through it on PlayStation because they've never done it before. And yeah, it's a ton of fun. I can't wait to do it. It's only $10. Black Friday and the holidays are coming up, so maybe you'll be able to get it for $8 or something. I don't know.
Don't forget, Epic Games always gives you a coupon every time you buy a game of theirs that's on sale during the holidays. At least they have in the past. Obviously, I don't know if they're going to do it again this year.
Yeah,
but hopefully you get it cheap. Last but not least, we do finally have a release date of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction.
It's been delayed 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, it's been delayed a lot. It will be coming out on January 20th. For those that don't remember, it's the Rainbow Six game with weird alien creatures, infected creatures. It was called Quarantine and then had to get pulled because obviously quarantine during a pandemic, it's not really words we want to hear anymore.
I think it would have been great marketing, right?
That would have been a pretty good idea.
Oh, people would have hated it.
I think it would have been. I think it would have
lean into it a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's something we can all relate to now.
Yeah,
that's valid. It will support cross-play and cross-progression, which great. I'll be honest. Every time I see people playing this game, see first impressions, I'm just like, this doesn't look fun.
It doesn't look great, but
whatever.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So
I hope if you play it, I hope you have fun with it. Not trying to knock it, because I do like the tactical and control of Rainbow Six Siege. So, if you like that kind of, I got the Left 4 Dead vibe from it. So
yeah, but it seems slower paced, which is what throws me off a little bit.
Yeah.
So
we'll to see.
Hopefully, if you are a fan of Rainbow Six, hopefully you do enjoy it. If you are, let us know in the comments or on our Twitter. Come to our Discord. Berate us for not really being big into Rainbow Six anymore, because it used to be one of my all-time favorites. Otherwise,
we can play again. I'll play with you.
Yeah,
It's
we
Mike
might
that
have
won't
to.
play with us.
Oh, that's right. um, uh, otherwise, I mean, guys, I don't know about you, but we need to jump into some Halo multiplayer. So we should probably start wrapping this thing up.
Just end it now.
Yeah, just hit the end button.
Come on, got some people to murder.
It was a lot of fun today talking about some of our early thoughts about the Halo multiplayer. We'll definitely be coming back with some more next week and probably some other random news on the Halo series itself. Guys, as always, it's been a blast. And for everyone listening, again, like and subscribe. Find us on the little icons you could find below. Also at Camp Game Pod on Twitter, Campfire Gaming Podcast on Instagram, campfiregamingpodcast.com for the website, which has links to literally everything. So if you can't remember anything, just remember that one. But otherwise, we're going to be seeing you next time around the campfire.